and used to say that when you open a bottle of wine, you're opening 5,000 years of culture and history.
We're talking with you about this is Gabe Geller, joined the Royal Wine Corporation after 15 years of experience in the wine industry. You've been a trusted wine reviewer, you've owned retail, and now you work with this company. And so we're looking forward to learning more about that. Gabe, thank you for coming to the show today, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Joe.
Awesome. Starting off very generally, what is your favorite thing about wine?
Wow.
I know it's a pretty wide one. In other words, what was the moment that inspired you to get into wine professionally?
Okay, so this is actually two questions. So first thing, what do I like most about wine? Wine makes you travel. There was a wine writer and critic whose name was not his real name, that was his pen name, was Daniel Rogov, and used to say that when you open a bottle of wine, you're opening 5,000 years of culture and history. I love that. And when you open a bottle of wine, whether it's Caramel, Single Vineyard, Volcano, Merlot from the Upper Galilee in Israel, or a bottle of Herzog Special Reserve Pinot Noir from Santa Rita Hills in California, or Drapier Champagne, or Jeunesse Cabernet Sauvignon, also from California. What do you hear? California, Israel, France, that region, this region, you're traveling. You experience, different expressions of grapes, of winemaking style, coming from all parts of the world, and all of that has, an impact, an influence that comes from the history, the culture of that specific region the wine comes from. And I think that it's part of what makes wine such a beverage that brings people together. It's not just about the wine itself, the way it tastes, how it smells, but where it comes from. What's the story there? And that's really what I love most about wine.
I love that. That's very well put. I've heard a lot of different versions of similar answers, but how you put it was so passionate and articulate. So thank you for that. And that kind of segues to the fact that you are a wine writer, and there's this phrase, trusted wine reviewer, which I appreciate. So what is the background and experience for someone to get these types of roles and titles? What inspires someone to pursue these kinds of roles?
Okay, so it all came. There was like no actually clear goal in mind, I have to say. It really started. First of all, I got into the wine business because I worked as a teenager for a wine company during the summer, and that's where I got really fascinated by all those wines from so many different places at all different price points. I was like, this bottle is a 750 milliliter, and that too. This one's a $10, Rioja, and that one is a great Grand Cru Bordeaux for the $300 or $400. Like both are wines, it's the same quality, but the price is the gap is huge. So that's really how I got fascinated by it, and then I got into it like much more seriously until I eventually, became a consultant, later on a retailer, and then started writing about wine, and so on and so forth. And it really just, happened because it felt right. I didn't have any ambition of opening a wine store, but a friend of mine, got me into the idea, and I really love that. And it didn't last for so long, truthfully, but it was a
Uh,
great experience. Learned so much. I've seen so many things. I made so many connections and friends through that experience, and that was fantastic. And then, writing about wine was something that kind of came to me like, you know what? I have something to say about this ball. I'm just gonna say it, in some small forum of wine geeks, and people like started, being into what I was writing about the first ball, then the second one, then people asking me my opinion. So I kept on and on and on. Okay, so people are asking me about this wine. I'm gonna taste this wine, and I'll write, whatever I think of it. And that's really how I got into that. Then I had like a growing following because people were telling their friends about me and they liked my reviews and they agreed with them. They thought the wine and like, oh, that guy is right. Which is, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but they agreed with me, and that's how it goes. And one thing led to another, and I grew into that. And I found myself working with Royal Wine, and it's been a great journey so far.
that's amazing. I love that. And a very big special thank you to Vrbo. With over 2 million bookable vacation rentals, Vrbo connects homeowners with families and vacationers looking for something more than a hotel for their trip. The Vrbo community offers families an array of rental property types such as condos, cabins, lake rentals, beach houses, and more. Discover properties and destinations that everyone dreams of visiting. Vrbo, where families travel better together. Find more information at vrbo.com. That's VRBO.com. Okay, back to the show.